all right, Xiao Fan. Don't be angry. Your sister just likes to joke with you. She wouldn't really make you leave like this, would she? Come, sit on the sofa and rest for a while, play on your phone and relax. We'll have lunch together later. All these delicious dishes were made by Mother Lin herself. I bet you've never tasted them before. Those are delicious dishes Mother Lin specially prepared for me. How can you just casually give them to someone else to eat? Absolutely not. Upon hearing that Lin Feng actually planned to use the incredibly delicious sausages, cured meats, and fragrant lion's head meatballs that Mother Lin had personally prepared for him to entertain Ye Xiaoyu, Ye Xiaoyu immediately got anxious and shouted loudly. These foods were limited in quantity, and she already felt there wasn't enough for herself. If she gave some to someone else, wouldn't she have even less to enjoy? So, Ye Xiaoyu said to Lin Feng with a serious expression, how about this, you just cook him a bowl of noodles. Let him eat his fill, and then quickly leave. Don't get in the way here. Lin Feng couldn't help but feel a little exasperated. He never expected that Ye Xiaoyu, the impressive female CEO who usually commanded respect in the business world, would be so serious about a bit of food. However, upon reflection, this was also a side of Ye Xiaoyu he had only recently discovered. This outwardly strong female CEO was actually a true foodie at heart. And for a seasoned foodie like her, protecting her share of food was undoubtedly a matter of utmost importance. All right, brother-in-law, you must make a lot. I didn't even get to eat breakfast today, so I absolutely must have a big feast today. When Ye Xiaoyu shouted this, he didn't notice Ye Xiaoyu's pretty face, which had already turned gloomy. However, he didn't care that much. Before his words even finished, he rushed into the kitchen, and upon seeing Lin Feng busy at work, he immediately broke into a bright smile and said sweetly, brother-in-law, I noticed my sister calls Mother Lin Mom so smoothly now. In these few days you two were back home, brother-in-law, you didn't eat up my sister, did you? How could Lin Feng have expected Ye Xiaoyu to be so unrestrained with his words? For a moment he was left dumbfounded, not knowing how to respond. At the same time, a faint blush involuntarily appeared on his face, a subtle change that naturally didn't escape Ye Xiaoyu's not-so-sharp eyes. Ye Xiaoyu's lips curled slightly upward, revealing a sly smile, and then he grinned, a truly cunning expression on his face. Immediately after, he reached out and gently patted Lin Feng's shoulder, a very lewd expression on his face, and whispered, all right, brother-in-law, I didn't expect you could handle even my sister's difficult personality so easily. You're really amazing. Keep up the good work, hurry up and let me hold a cute little nephew to play with. Do you still want to eat? Lin Feng said speechlessly. Ye Xiaoyu saw Lin Feng looking a bit embarrassed and smiled, even more cunningly. He was then chased out of the kitchen by Lin Feng and sat on the sofa, idly scrolling through his phone. Oh my brother-in-law. Tianyu Film and Television Company has already announced the start date for Jade Dynasty. Just then, Ye Xiaoyu scrolled to this news. Really? Let me see. Ye Xiaoyu also became interested at this point. Ye Xiaoyu then handed his phone to Ye Xiaoyu. Ye Xiaoyu took the phone and read carefully. The news headline read, Large-scale epic Xiangxia Jade Dynasty begins filming today in Hangdian, Magic City. Then Ye Xiaoyu continued to read the news below. This time the investment for Jade Dynasty was still very large, about 1 billion yuan. It could be called a major production. And the actors hired were also the most popular young idols of today. Dinner's ready, Xiaoyu, come get the bowls and serve the rice. I'll tidy up the kitchen. At this moment, Lin Feng's voice came from the kitchen. Ye Xiaoyu went to carry the dishes, while Ye Xiaoyu went to serve the rice. And brother-in-law, it smells so good. As Ye Xiaoyu carried the dishes, the aroma lingered at his nose, and he almost started drooling. Seeing Ye Xiaoyu drooling over the food like that, Ye Xiaoyu kicked him in the backside. Whoa sis, be careful, Ye Xiaoyu quickly said. Ye Xiaoyu hadn't controlled her strength with that kick and almost sent Ye Xiaoyu's sprawling face first. Alright, you two, stop messing around, hurry up and sit down to eat. Lin Feng was also almost affected. The soup in his hand nearly spilled. Delicious, delicious. Sis, brother-in-law, do you eat this every day? No wonder my sister didn't want to come back on the 5th day of the new year. Lin Feng said indistinctly while eating the dishes in large mouthfuls. Eat slowly, no one is fighting. Lin Feng originally wanted to tell Ye Xiaoyu to slow down and that no one was fighting him for the food, but before Lin Feng could finish the word fighting, He noticed that Ye Xiaoyu was also eating the dishes in large mouthfuls, and as she ate, her eyes glared fiercely at Ye Xiaofen. Ye Xiaoyu thought that if she ate one more bite, Ye Xiaofen would eat one less. Good heavens, the two siblings were completely at odds when it came to eating. Lin Feng looked at the two siblings and suddenly found it a bit amusing, but 10 minutes later, Lin Feng couldn't laugh anymore. He even felt a bit like crying. He hadn't even finished his bowl of rice, and the dishes had already been completely devoured by the two siblings. "Oh right, Xiaofan, what were you going to tell me earlier?" After lunch, Lin Feng washed the fruit, sat on the sofa, and asked Ye Xiaofen. "Oh, it's like this. Tianyu Film and Television Company's Zhu Zian started filming today." As he spoke, Ye Xiaofen opened his phone, navigated to the news article again, and handed it to Lin Feng to see. "Tianyu Company seems a bit impatient, doesn't it?" Lin Feng said with a smile, then handed the phone back to Ye Xiaofen. "Brother-in-law, this time they've secured a lot of investment, a full 1 billion yuan. Ye Xiaofen said with a hint of envy as he looked at the investment. "What's a billion yuan? I estimate that their main actors' salaries alone will probably be 200 or 300 million. And the scale of the sets for this drama is so large, plus, there are so many action scenes, and these young actors haven't undergone strict training. Easy to imagine what the final product will look like." Lin Feng peeled an orange for Ye Xiaofen and said with a smile. "Oh right, brother-in-law. The filming location for our new drama, Rainbow Sky Blue Dream 7 Heroes, has also been decided. It's Zhangjiaji. Moreover, the Zhangjiaji Tourism Bureau is not only providing us with free filming locations, but also investing over 50 million yuan, which will be used for promotion. We also found some screenwriters to repolish your previous script," Ye Xiaofen said to Lin Feng at this moment. "Also, for the martial arts design and choreography, we found a very reliable team, a team from the Hong Kong region called the Yuan Family Stunt Team." As he spoke, Ye Xiaofen once again picked up his phone and played some of the TV dramas the Yuan Family Stunt Team had previously directed. Lin Feng watched for a while. The Yuan Family Stunt Team's action design was excellent, and the sense of impact was very strong. Every move was graceful and fluid. Although there were slow-motion shots, they only served to emphasize the impact, making it very impressive to watch. "What about the investment?" Lin Feng asked. "Our Vanishing Stars plans to invest 100 million yuan in this drama, and currently, the only investment we've secured is 50 million yuan from the Zhangjiaji Tourism Bureau," Ye Xiaofen said in a low voice at this moment. "Brother-in-law, as you know, this is our Vanishing Stars' first time producing a film or TV work, and this time we're using all new actors, so not many capitalists have high hopes for our show." "Capitalists?" Faint smile appeared on Lin Feng's lips, and he then glanced at Ye Xiaoyu next to him. "Who said there were no capitalists? Isn't there a big capitalist sitting right next to us now? Sis, please help, invest a little, won't you?" Ye Xiaofen was so cunning that he immediately understood Lin Feng's intention. Ye Xiaofen immediately knelt down, hugging Ye Xiaoyu's thigh, and pleaded. This sudden action startled Ye Xiaoyu. She was just an innocent bystander, so how did she get roped into this? "Oh my, just now someone was speaking to me in such a condescending tone, weren't they? How come they're kneeling in front of me now? The world really changes fast," Ye Xiaoyu said with a smile. "Yes, the world changes so fast. Who would have thought?" Ye Xiaofen said shamelessly. At this moment, he just wanted to secure more investment. The more money, the better. "Oh dear, I just finished eating and I'm a bit thirsty. You know, it would be wonderful if someone could make me a cup of coffee right now," Ye Xiaoyu said with a smile. However, as soon as Ye Xiaoyu finished speaking, Ye Xiaofen had already brought a cup of coffee and handed it to Ye Xiaoyu. "Dearest elder sister, authentic Dutch beans, still your usual taste, low sugar, a little milk." "And, good boy." Ye Xiaoyu patted Ye Xiaofen's cheek and said with a smile. "Then sis, what about this investment matter?" Ye Xiaofen said excitedly. "And I see. How about this? I won't invest in this drama under the name of Ye Group, but under my personal name, I'll invest 300 million yuan. Ye Xiaoyu took an elegant sip of coffee and said with a smile. "Long live elder sister," Ye Xiaofen said excitedly. "Don't be so quick to say long live, I have a condition," Ye Xiaoyu continued at this moment. "I remember when your Tianyu Entertainment was established, your brother-in-law owned 20% of the shares, right? Here's the deal. When you go back, tell Sun Y that each of you will give 5% of your shares to your brother-in-law, so your brother-in-law will own 30% of the shares." No need, elder sister. Sun Y and I had already discussed this. After all, Sun Y is responsible for directing and filming this film and television company, and brother-in-law is responsible for writing the scripts. My part is the simplest, so I will cede 10% of the shares to brother-in-law, and both brother-in-law and I will each hold 30%. Ye Xiaoyu said with a smile. Actually, I don't need this extra 10%. Lin Feng quickly said. All right, then that's settled. You cede 10% to your brother-in-law. I'll invest these 300 million yuan. Just call me when you need it, and I'll transfer it to you. Ye Xiaoyu nodded and said to Ye Xiaoyu, I wonder when Tianyu Entertainment Company's Jade Dynasty will officially be released? If it could be released alongside ours, we could compete and see what Sun Y is truly capable of. At this moment, Ye Xiaoyu tilted her head slightly and chuckled softly, as if she hadn't considered whether her 300 million yuan investment would break even. After hearing this, Ye Xiaoyu smiled faintly and then seriously analyzed it for Ye Xiaoyu. Based on the current conventional operations and production schedules of TV dramas on the market, if all goes smoothly, filming should be completed in just about 3 months. 3 months? How is that possible? Isn't that too fast? Lin Feng looked at her with a surprised expression, secretly thinking. Even with extreme cuts and rough production, how could it be finished in just 3 months? That's simply a fantasy. Seeing Lin Feng's surprised look, Ye Xiaoyu smiled slightly, then unhurriedly explained to Lin Feng and Ye Xiaoyu, Sister, brother-in-law, you might not know this, but given the current state of the film and television industry, it's almost impossible to film all the content of a super long work like Jade Dynasty at once. Furthermore, there are clear regulations now that the number of episodes for a TV drama absolutely cannot exceed 60. Therefore, Jade Dynasty will definitely be split into several parts for filming, which will maximize profits and attract more investment. After hearing this, Ye Xiaoyu and Lin Feng nodded in sudden understanding. Ye Xiaoyu showed a slightly embarrassed smile and said self-deprecatingly, so that's how it is, haha. It seems I'm truly clueless about these things. Seeing this, Ye Xiaoyu pursed his lips and smiled, then continued, so, sister, at this rate, our Rainbow Sky Blue Dream 7 heroes might not even have started filming, and theirs might have already finished airing. In fact, we could totally use the 3-month gap while preparing Rainbow Sky Blue Dream 7 heroes to film another TV drama to compete with Tianyu Entertainment Company. Lin Feng narrowed his eyes slightly, pondered for a moment, then looked at Ye Xiaoyu opposite him and said seriously. Hearing Lin Feng's words, Ye Xiaoyu couldn't help but widen his eyes, his face full of astonishment, looking at him incredulously and blurted out, Brother-in-law, are you kidding me? However, Lin Feng looked back at Ye Xiaoyu with a serious expression and said firmly, when have I ever joked with you like this? Being questioned by Lin Feng like that, Ye Xiaoyu didn't say anything, but he secretly grumbled to himself, and he says he never joked with me. The Xiaoyu incident still makes my little heart ache when I think about it. Brother-in-law, how can we film another TV drama? We have no funds, no actors decided and no script. Then call Sun Y right now and ask him to come over so we can discuss it. Okay, I'll call Sun Y now. Action-oriented, both Ye Xiaoyu and Lin Feng were doers. That's how Ye Xiaoyu and Lin Feng operated when Vanishing Stars Entertainment Company was first established. Ye Xiaoyu called Sun Y, while Lin Feng brought over his laptop, ready to start writing the script on the spot. But what to write? That was the question. If considering budget and filming time, a sitcom was naturally the best choice. At this moment, several good sitcoms popped into Lin Feng's mind. Apartment, Workplace Elite, Home with Kids, My Own Swordsman. None of these will work. Finding suitable actors would take too long. Lin Feng quickly dismissed all the sitcoms he remembered. He needed to film with the actors he currently had. Goodbye, Mr. Loser, Never Say Die, Hello, Mr. Billionaire. These could all be filmed because Shen Feng and Ma Mei could completely star in them. These were all movies, and Lin Feng still wanted to trick people in cinemas later, to release them in cinemas. Besides Shen Feng and Ma Mei, the only actors left were Chen Zhaoxi and Zhu Ershi. As for Wang Xinyu and the others, forget it, he'd use them when he filmed idol dramas later. Wait, how could I forget the script? Suddenly, Lin Feng thought of something, and his mood became a little excited. No one had ever made a TV drama from this script. Even if some TV dramas featured these stories, they were altered beyond recognition. This story accompanied him through countless sleepless nights, and even now, Lin Feng still remembers some classic lines from it, as if they were etched into his soul. Grave robbing, rising tone. Grave robbing, falling tone. Grave robbing, rising tone. Grave robbing, falling tone. You like to say these two lines, don't you? Then just scratch me out. That's right, it was Master Liu's most classic solo performance, the officialdom struggle. Although Master Liu Baiorou's The Officialdom Struggle was unfinished, Lin Feng had heard several versions, and the Jinzi version of The Officialdom Struggle was also excellent, arguably the second best version. He could start from the Wu Gate Training Sun segment, and all the text up to the end was in his mind. So, Lin Feng opened a document and began typing. Struggle between monarch and ministers, Ye Xiaoyu and Ye Xiaofen said in unison, looking at the document title. That's the name of the script, Lin Feng said with a smile, then quickly began typing. Hello Xiaotong, I'm back really? Great, then pick me up at my place. Ye Xiaoyu answered a call. It was from Ye Xiaotong, asking if Ye Xiaoyu and a few cousins wanted to go singing together. Ye Xiaoyu saw that she had nothing much to do recently, and Ye group generally didn't start work until after the 8th or 9th day of the Lunar New Year. At this time, Lin Feng was engrossed in creating the script and naturally couldn't play with her, and with Ye Xiaofen, the third wheel, also present, Ye Xiaoyu readily agreed to Ye Xiaotong's request to go singing. Lin Feng was typing very fast at this moment, and as he typed, he couldn't help but laugh out loud at the amusing parts. No way, brother-in-law, what kind of script are you writing that you're even laughing at it yourself? Ye Xiaofen was originally watching from behind Lin Feng, but after less than 10 minutes, Ye Xiaofen couldn't bear it anymore and sat on the sofa, turning on the TV to watch a rerun of the Spring Festival Gala. However, now seeing Lin Feng writing and laughing, Ye Xiaofen became interested in Lin Feng's script. Brother-in-law, are you all right? Why are you sitting there smiling foolishly, with a dazed expression? Could it be that you're so stressed from not being able to write the script that you've gone silly? Ye Xiaofen looked at Lin Feng with curiosity and concern. Lin Feng rolled his eyes at her and retorted testily, go on, watch your Spring Festival Gala. As he spoke, he continued writing the script, occasionally letting out a few laughs. Don't smile foolishly when there's nothing wrong. People might easily mistake you for an idiot, Ye Xiaofen whispered, then ignored Lin Feng because Deng Zifeng had appeared. On the stage, Deng Zifeng was wearing an elegant dark blue dress, shining dazzlingly like a brilliant star in the night sky. She held a microphone and sang her new song, The Brightest Star in the Night Sky, with deep emotion. Her melodious and flowing voice, like a sound from heaven, instantly spread throughout the living room via the television, enchanting everyone to the point of being unable to extricate themselves. And Deng Zifeng's exquisite makeup and charming smile added several layers to her allure, making her, who was already naturally beautiful, appear even more stunning at this moment. Watching Deng Zifeng shine so brightly on the screen, Ye Xiaofen couldn't help but beam with joy, secretly feeling proud. Agreeing to sign Deng Zifeng with Xiao Qin back then was truly a wise decision. Look at this girl, not only does she sing so beautifully, but with a little bit of dressing up, she's exceptionally pretty too. Thinking this, Ye Xiaofen couldn't help but take a few more glances at Deng Zifeng, who was performing enthusiastically on TV, her eyes filled with admiration and pride. She wasn't just proud of Deng Zifeng, but also proud of herself. The company only had a few artists, and all of them appeared on the Spring Festival Gala. Who could she even tell about this? What? You say I'm bragging? Didn't Lin Feng not go to the Spring Festival Gala? Please, that's because Lin Feng himself didn't want to go, not because the Spring Festival Gala didn't invite him. By the way, why hasn't Sun Y arrived yet? 1 hour. 2 hours. 3 hours. Time passed minute by minute, the sun gradually set in the west, and the hour hands slowly pointed to 4 in the afternoon. Finally, Sun Y's slightly hurried figure appeared in everyone's sight. During this time, Ye Xiaofen didn't know how many times she had called Sun Y, but except for the first call, every subsequent time she only heard the anxious prompt, sorry, the user you dialed is temporarily unreachable, please try again later. After repeating this many times, Ye Xiaofen's heart also became a little more agitated with each passing moment. So, as soon as Sun Y appeared, before he even had a chance to catch his breath, Lin Feng rushed forward impatiently and started scolding him. I say, big brother, take a good look yourself. What time is it already? Do you even know how long everyone has been waiting for you? What's going on? I'm baffled. How can you be so busy? You don't even answer your phone. Oh well, I was delayed by something important. Sun Wai scratched his head, explaining a bit awkwardly. The art academies haven't even started yet. What important things could there be? I think you're just making excuses. Ye Xiaoyu crossed her arms, looking at Sun Wai with suspicion. Lin Feng also nodded repeatedly in agreement with Ye Xiaoyu's words. Sun Wai opened his mouth, just about to continue explaining. This is Zhang Xiaoyan, she. Before Sun Wai could finish his sentence, Lin Feng and Ye Xiaoyu exchanged glances, understanding each other implicitly. They knew Sun Wai too well. Needless to say, this guy must have gone to confess his feelings to Zhang Xiaoyan again, and, as expected, was mercilessly rejected. Thinking this, the two couldn't help but shake their heads simultaneously, feeling both helpless and amused by Sun Wai's persistent yet always thwarted behavior. Sun Wai, it's not that I, your brother, am telling you this. The old saying goes so well. There are fragrant grasses everywhere in the world. The world is so vast, what kind of beauties aren't there? Why must you only pine for that one flower? Ye Xiaoyu gently patted Sun Wai's shoulder, sighing and shaking her head helplessly. Isn't that right? Sun Wai, from what I know, this is already your 5th time being rejected, isn't it? If you count carefully, the number of times you've been mercilessly rejected by Zhang Xiaoyan, front to back, must be around 70 or 80 times, right? Tisk, tisk, tisk. Look at you, aren't you just a living, breathing out and out simp? Another person next to them also chimed in, with a look of playful mockery on his face. Simp? What does that mean? It sounds quite nice, Sun Wai said earnestly to Lin Feng. Lin Feng. What else could he say? What else could he say? Li Xinghang, it's a good thing you haven't met Sun Wai, otherwise your title as king of simps would be in jeopardy. Sun Wai, these women are all like this. The nicer you are to her, the less she takes you seriously. Listen to your brother, ignore this woman for a few months. The more you ignore her, the more she will slowly start to notice you, Lin Feng said, patting Sun Wai's shoulder with a smile. Forget it, brother Lin, she doesn't even see me when I'm this proactive. If I distance myself, wouldn't that be even worse? Sun Wai immediately said. It seems I need to give you two a good lesson. Lin Feng sighed, and then looked at Ye Xiaoyu and Sun Wai, beginning to lecture them righteously. Confucius said, only women and small-minded people are difficult to deal with. If you get close to them, they become disrespectful. If you keep them at a distance, they complain. Do you know what this means? I know, it means women are not things, Ye Xiaoyu immediately said. Get lost, Lin Feng immediately protested. These were the words of the old master. Was the old master crazy to say women were not things? The true meaning expressed by the phrase only women and small-minded people are difficult to deal with is actually that only women and small-minded people are very difficult to get along with. If you get close to them, they might become rude, but if you choose to distance yourself from them, they will complain incessantly. Lin Feng explained with a smile, this situation is like flying a kite. You need to both pull it closer and let it go further at times, so that the kite can maintain balance in the air and soar freely. For women, this is even more so, when a woman is already used to you frequently appearing in front of her, circling around her. If suddenly one day, she finds that you are no longer constantly revolving around her as before, then the competitive nature inherent in women will be stimulated. Lin Feng said with a smile, at that time, you don't need to do anything. Zhang Xiaoyan will actively call you. At that time, you will be halfway to success. All right, stop chattering. Let's cut to the chase and get down to business, Lin Feng said with a serious expression. With that, he quickly pressed the print button on the computer, and with a slight hum, sheets of paper covered in dense text slowly emerged from the printer. After more than 3 hours, Lin Feng had already written a portion of the script for officialdom struggle. He was now printing it out to show Sun Wai. Lin Feng carefully picked up the freshly printed script, gently shook off the excess paper scraps, then stapled the 2 well-prepared scripts and handed them to Sun Wai. Sun Wai took the script from Lin Feng with a look of confusion. After quickly scanning a few lines, he couldn't help but look up at Lin Feng and ask, puzzled, Brother Lin, what exactly do you mean by this? Xiao Fan and I discussed it and decided that before we start filming Rainbow Sky Blue Dream 7 Heroes, we'd first do a situational comedy to stir up some trouble for Tianyu Company and block their hearts. Lin Feng explained his plan with a smile, a glint of cunning in his eyes. Hearing this, Sun Wai couldn't help but chuckle, muttering, "You two are really something. Tianyu Company must be regretting it bitterly for offending you both. This will definitely be the most regrettable thing in their lives." As he spoke, Sun Wai casually picked up the script on the table, preparing to examine it closely. After all, this script was written by Lin Feng, and he had no doubts about Lin Feng's creative ability. However, just as he opened the script and his eyes fell upon the historical setting of the story, the smile on his face instantly froze. The words Qing Dynasty were prominently written there, and Sun Wai couldn't help but grumble to himself, "Oh my, brother Lin, why on earth did you choose this particular dynasty to write a story? Couldn't you have chosen so many other dynasties? Why did you have to pick the Qing Dynasty? What's so good about this rotten dynasty to write about?" At this moment, his mind was filled with confusion and helplessness regarding this choice, but he still suppressed his dissatisfaction and continued to read. The first chapter opened with the thrilling scene of disciplining the son at the Meridian Gate. This made Sun Wai furious and his blood boil. Liu Tong's unbeheading Liu Zhang and kicking Liu Xiao to death at the Meridian Gate almost made Sun Wai lose his cool. Sun Wai cursed inwardly. Is there something wrong with Liu Tongsun's cerebellum? How did such an idiot become a grand secretary? Being his son is truly a stroke of bad luck for him. One must know, if Liu Tongsun's actions were to occur in the present day, he would surely be met with a deluge of public condemnation, and he would probably be so ashamed that he'd dive head first into a cesspit, never to rise again. However, as time passed, such behavior was considered astonishing at that time. Back then, Liu Tongsun disciplining his son at the Meridian Gate was a widely circulated story in the streets and alleys. Afterward, Liu Tongsun, this idiot, still wanted to kill Liu Yang, but Liu Yang was not going to humor his idiotic father. He said, if the ruler is unjust, the minister flees to another country. If the father is unjust, the son runs away to another land. Immediately, he ran from the Meridian Gate all the way to Sining Palace, where he met the Empress Dowager, old Buddha. Finally, the old Buddha, feeling sorry for Liu Yang, adopted him as her imperial godson and bestowed upon him the title of Iron Collar Golden Lock Marquis, also specially enfeoffing him as the 3,000-year-old, one rank higher than all officials. From then on, whenever he encountered an official, he could be treated as one rank higher. Here, the story truly begins, and the subsequent plot is even more exciting. Lin Feng wrote from begging for the hunchback all the way to colliding with the sedan chair at the Meridian Gate, which made Sun Wai laugh heartily. This script was truly hilarious. "Brother Lin, you are so talented. Although there are no grand, earth-shattering scenes, this script is truly a masterpiece, so well written." Finally, Sun Wai took a deep breath, trying to calm his agitated emotions, then turned to Lin Feng and said seriously, "The most crucial issue right now is the actors. You know, although this play doesn't have those monumental earth-shattering scenes, it demands extremely high acting skills from the performers." The next moment, Sun Wai slightly furrowed his brow and continued to analyze in a low voice. Just then, Lin Feng's lips suddenly curved into a faint smile. Actually, regarding the actors, I already have a few perfectly suitable candidates in mind." Indeed, as he said, the ideal actor images had already formed in his mind, as if they could leap onto the screen at any moment. The role of Qianlong would be most suitable for teacher Zhu Ershi, as teacher Zhu Ershi looks serious and upright. Since Qianlong is played by teacher Zhu Ershi, then, the male lead will naturally be played by teacher Chen Xiaoxi. Logically speaking, with teacher Chen Xiaoxi's image, he doesn't even need to act out roles like petty thieves, illegal vendors, or hooligans. Liu Yang is a first-rank official. What an image, what a temperament. Liu Yang has no image or temperament to speak of. He is the infamous Liu Sanban. How cunning he is, in other words, how wicked he must be. That cheap look is almost custom designed for teacher Chen Xiaoxi. As for Hessian, Lin Feng also had a suitable candidate in mind, and that was teacher Guo Gang. After Lin Feng expressed his thoughts, Ye Xiaoyu immediately showed support, but Sun Wai was somewhat hesitant, with 2 sketch actors and 1 crosstalk actor. Good heavens, the three most important leading roles in officialdom struggle were all not proper to the actors. Seemingly sensing Sun Y's inner worries, Ye Xiaoyu's lips curved slightly into a comforting smile. Then she gently patted Sun Y's broad shoulder and said firmly, "Don't worry, old son. My brother-in-law has unique insight and is an excellent judge of character. He definitely won't be mistaken." In fact, Ye Xiaoyu herself couldn't remember exactly when she developed such unwavering trust in Lin Feng. It was as if since they met, every decision and every judgment Lin Feng made was so precise and accurate, winning her sincere admiration. So much so that now, no matter what Lin Feng said or did, Ye Xiaoyu would choose to believe him without hesitation, never having even a hint of doubt. Just then Lin Feng also walked with steady steps to Sun Y's side, comforting him in a gentle and soft voice. "Let's first communicate and connect well with these three teachers to understand the specific situation before deciding. Don't be too anxious, Sun Y. If we really find someone unsuitable, we can always switch to others. There's nothing to worry about." "Hey Xiaoyu, what time do you think you'll be back today?" Lin Feng asked softly after calling Ye Xiaoyu. Ye Xiaoyu's gentle voice came from the other end of the phone. "Darling Xiao Tong, Shuang Shuang, and I are singing at Kai right now. I might be a bit late." Hearing this, Lin Feng frowned slightly, but quickly replied, "Oh, I see. All right then, have a good time out there. Don't worry about me, everything's fine here." With that, he hung up the phone. Sun Y, who had been listening with his ears perked up, saw Lin Feng end the call, and immediately rushed over, asking with a curious expression, "How is it, brother Lin? When is sister-in-law coming back?" Lin Feng turned to look at Sun Y, shook his head helplessly, and replied in a low voice, "Your sister-in-law said she probably won't be back until very late today." Just then, Ye Xiaoyu, who was nearby, suddenly shouted excitedly, "Then what are we waiting for? Let's get high!" He gestured wildly as he spoke, his face beaming with unconcealed excitement. "Hey, Luo Jixiang, what are you doing right now? Do you have any plans for today?" Ye Xiaoyu's urgent voice came from the other end of the phone. "No, special plans, why?" Luo Jixiang responded lazily. "Haha, that's great. It just so happens that your sister-in-law isn't home, so hurry over to Brother Lin's place. Bring 20 cases of beer, we're not going home until we're drunk tonight," Ye Xiaoyu shouted excitedly. Not long after hanging up the phone, Luo Jixiang arrived at Brother Lin's house, carrying a large bag of ice-cold beer. As soon as he entered, he was infected by the lively atmosphere indoors. Ye Xiaoyu and Kai Baba had already set up in the living room. Dynamic music was playing from the speakers, and everyone was drinking and swaying their bodies to the rhythm. Seeing this, Lin Feng couldn't help but feel a little uneasy. He quickly pulled Ye Xiaoyu aside and asked, "Xiao Fan, is your sister coming back late or not at all? If you're messing around like this, and your sister suddenly comes home, what will we do?" However, Ye Xiaoyu was already in full party mode and couldn't care less. He shook off Lin Feng's hand, laughing, "Oh brother Lin, don't be such a killjoy. My sister will definitely be back very late, let's just have fun first." With that, he picked up his glass again and downed it in one gulp. Lin Feng shook his head helplessly, looking at the wild crowd before him, and secretly prayed that nothing would go wrong. After all, with Ye Xiaoyu's temper, if she were to walk in on this scene, everyone present would probably be in for it. "Brother Lin, I think sister-in-law is a very nice person, don't worry," Wang Xinyu said, smiling at Lin Feng with a beer in her hand. Good heavens, even the pure and lovely Wang Xinyu had turned into a drunkard at this moment. Of course, not everyone was a drunkard like Wang Xinyu, such as our two teachers, Chen Xiaoxi and Zhu Ershi. These two teachers. This script is good, when will filming begin? Sun Y, you little rascal, I'm telling you this role was designed for me. If you give it to anyone else, I'll kill you. Chen Xiaoxi loudly told Sun Y, holding the script in his hand. "Say no more, let's have one." Zhu Ershi, who was nearby, had already opened a beer and was chugging it with Sun Y. "What's the matter? Hasn't Gangzi arrived yet?" After finishing a bottle, Zhu Ershi looked at the door and asked loudly. "Gangzi and Brother Kian have another show today, so they probably can't make it. I just sent him the script, and he also thinks it's good," Chen Xiaoxi said at this moment. "All right then, Lin Feng, you need to finish the rest of the script early. We'll prepare and aim to start filming in a week," Chen Xiaoxi loudly told Lin Feng, who was nearby. Oh my god, I'm so worried. Lin Feng was speechless for a moment. What should he do? Lin Feng looked at Ye Xiaoyu with a resentful expression. This whole thing was caused by this rascal. He was too good at stirring up trouble. No wonder Xiaoyu didn't like him much. Xiaoyu, are you okay? Why is there so much in your bottle? Are you raising fish? However, after half an hour, Lin Feng had completely let loose. Because there was heating in their living room, Lin Feng had taken off his jacket and was now standing on the sofa, drinking with Ye Xiaoyu and the others, not caring if his shoes were dirty. Chen Xiaoxi and Zhu she had already gone back to study the script, so only young people were left here. In the end, led by Ye Xiaoyu, Luo Zhixiang, Kai Ba, and the others lined up in a single file, each holding a guitar, playing and singing. Look over here, opposite girl, look over here, the performance here is wonderful, please don't pretend to ignore it. They were singing Lin Feng's song, Look Over Here, Opposite Girl. This song was not like Sunny Day and other songs, because when this song came out, Lin Feng was being collectively blacklisted by half of the entertainment industry and the news media. So this song, Look Over Here, Opposite Girl, was not very popular, but Ye Xiaoyu's favorite was this song, and he could even play and sing it himself. I look up and down, left and right, it turns out every girl is not simple. I thought and thought, guessed and guessed, girls' thoughts are really strange. Come, oh yeah. Although Lin Feng didn't join in, he was also singing loudly from the side. 10 men, 7 are foolish, 8 are dull, 9 are bad, and 1 is loved by all. Sisters, jump out, trick him over, love him well and never let him leave. On the other side, Deng Zifeng, Wang Xinyu, and Kai Yilin were also happily drinking, dancing, and singing, making it very lively. I say, Xiaoyu, your house is quite lively. No one knew that Ye Xiaoyu had surveillance at home. She could see every corner of the house clearly through her phone. At this moment, Ye Xiaoyu looked at Ye Xiaoyu and the others on her phone with a livid expression. That rascal, she was only coming back a little late, and he had the nerve to throw a party in her villa. Good heavens, Luo Zhixiang, Kai Ba, these are all handsome guys. Xiaoyu, let's go party at your house. A very youthful-looking girl was practically drooling as she looked at the handsome guys on Ye Xiaoyu's screen. Min, don't mess around, these are all important artists from Xiaofan's company, don't cause any trouble for me, Ye Xiaoyu said speechlessly. This very pure-looking girl was none other than that wild and seductive queen, Zhang Min. Oh my god, how much did I drink yesterday? The next day, Lin Feng slowly woke up in Ye Xiaoyu's room. Today is the 7th, and the Yi group has already started work, so Ye Xiaoyu went to the company early in the morning. Lin Feng slowly opened his eyes, his vision gradually focusing on the bedside table. On the smooth surface of the cabinet, there was a tempting cup of sour plum soup, and beneath the cup lay a note. He curiously reached out and picked up the note, reading it carefully. The handwriting on the note was delicate and neat. I wasn't home yesterday, look what you've done to this place. I'll settle accounts with you properly when I get back. Remember to drink the sour plum soup after you wake up. It helps with a hangover. I'm off to work. After reading it, Lin Feng couldn't help but laugh, a warmth welling up in his heart. It was then that he realized he had been changed into a loose, comfortable set of pajamas at some point. He figured it must have been Ye Xiaoyu's doing, which surprised him. He hadn't expected her, who usually seemed so decisive and efficient, to have such a thoughtful and meticulous side. At this thought, Lin Feng's heart stirred slightly, and his eyes even became a little moist. He gently picked up the cup of sour plum soup and took a small sip. However, the moment the sour plum soup touched his tongue, an indescribable taste quickly spread. Lin Feng frowned, almost spitting out the soup in his mouth. The taste of this sour plum soup was truly bizarre, a mixture of sourness and bitterness, completely unlike the deliciousness he had imagined. In the following days, Sun Wei and Ye Xiaoyu tirelessly embarked on their search for actors for the other roles in Monarch and Minister's Struggle. They continuously auditioned and screened, hoping to find the most suitable candidates to play characters such as Zhang Quan, Liu En, and the various princes. At the same time, Lin Feng did not dare to relax in the slightest. He raced against time to dedicate himself to the creation of the subsequent chapters. Time flew by and a week passed in a flash. Lin Feng's script had long been finalized, and then several famous screenwriters from the entertainment industry were invited to polish the script together. Finally, when everything was ready, Sun Y happily distributed the revised and perfected script to all the actors involved in the performance. The moment they received the script, the leading actors eagerly began to read it. On an ordinary yet destined to be extraordinary day, Ye Xiaoyu solemnly announced a shocking piece of news on the official account of Vanishing Stars Entertainment Company, the establishment of Fangxing Film and Television Company. This decision was like a stone stirring up 1,000 ripples, instantly causing a sensation in the entertainment industry. Not only that, but Ye Xiaoyu also proudly announced that Fangxing Film and Television Company's first major production, the T-series Prime Minister Liu Luoguo, would officially kick off today, marking the first filming journey since the establishment of Fangxing Film and Television Company. This work, with historical figures as its protagonists, might lack the popular traffic elements in the eyes of some. But Ye Xiaoyu and the entire creative team firmly believe that with its brilliant plot and excellent production team, it would surely create a classic work that would be widely acclaimed. To allow more people to understand the preparations for this drama and the future development plans of Fangxing Film and Television Company, Ye Xiaoyu even uniquely held a grand press conference. Although Fangxing Film and Television Company was new then the TV series it was filming was not a popular traffic genre, the press conference venue is still bustling and lively. Numerous media reporters flocked to the scene, their eyes fixed on this new star of the entertainment industry, hoping to get exclusive first-hand information from him. There was no other reason. It was simply because in the past year, the entire entertainment industry had been turbulent and unpredictable. Because Vanishing Stars Entertainment Company emerged like a dark horse, advancing triumphantly all the way, completely opening up and instantly pushing the entertainment industry to its peak. Whether it was the music works or the skits and cross-talk it launched, it achieved astonishing results and reputation. Therefore, when they heard that Vanishing Stars Entertainment Company was venturing into the film and television field and establishing its own film and television company, the industry inside and out eagerly awaited, hoping to witness this emerging force continue to write legendary chapters in a brand new field. In today's fiercely competitive entertainment industry, Vanishing Stars Entertainment Company, a seemingly inconspicuous small company, rose like a brilliant new star. This company actually cultivated many excellent singers, such as Lin Feng, Deng Zifeng, Luo Zhixiang, Ke Yilin, and Wang Xinyu, as well as the phenomenal idol group Kai Kai Ba Ba. However, what is amazing is far from just that. Skit and cross-talk actors Chen Xiaozi, Yu Ershi, as well as Guo Gang, teacher Yu Qian, and Shen Feng and Ma Mei, also became popular after signing with Vanishing Stars Entertainment Company. The most important point is that, among these people, except for Lin Feng, all of them appeared on the stage of this year's Spring Festival Gala. It should be known that, before this, no company had ever had so many artists simultaneously appear on the Spring Festival Gala, a grand stage watched by all. This undoubtedly created an unprecedented historical record in the Chinese entertainment industry, becoming a topic of conversation among industry insiders. At 9 a.m. the press conference was held on time. Only Ye Xiaoyu and Sun Y from Vanishing Stars Entertainment Company attended this press conference. Ye Xiaoyu had also called Lin Feng, but Lin Feng had refused him. He doesn't like to appear at such events. At this very moment, executives from other entertainment companies, such as the senior figures of Tianyu Entertainment Company, were intently watching the press conference held by Fangxing Film and Television Company. The scene was bustling with people, and the atmosphere was extraordinarily lively. People whispered to each other, discussing animatedly, all full of anticipation and curiosity for this press conference. Everyone was curious as to why Tianyu Entertainment Company would think of developing into the film and television industry. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, please keep quiet for a moment. The press conference for our Fangxing Film and Television Company is about to officially begin. If any friends present have any questions or would like to ask, please raise your hand to signal. Our General Manager Sun and General Manager, you will select one reporter friend in each queue and a session, and give them the opportunity to answer their questions in detail. The host said with a smile, her voice gentle, to the crowd below the stage. As soon as her voice fell, the staff on the side quickly moved. They carefully carried 2 brand-new microphones onto the stage, and then steadily placed them on the large, clean table in front of Ye Xiaoyu and Sun Y. Although Sun Y was attending this kind of press conference for the first time, he showed no stage fright at all. And Ye Xiaoyu was even more familiar with it. After all the reporters had arrived, Ye Xiaoyu nodded and whispered, "All right, start asking questions." The moment Xiaoyu finished speaking, the reporters below seemed to have a switch flipped, raising their hands in unison, a truly spectacular sight. Their eyes were eager, as if afraid of missing the opportunity to ask Xiaoyu a question. Xiaoyu smiled, his gaze slowly sweeping over everyone. The corners of his mouth curved slightly upwards, revealing a barely perceptible smile, and then he said in a soft yet clear voice, "Then I'll invite the beautiful female reporter in the 3rd row, 3rd from the left, to ask the first question." The beautiful female reporter who was called upon first looked left and right, seemingly not having reacted yet. Then, she unconsciously pointed at her mouth with both hands, muttering something, her face showing surprise and disbelief, clearly very surprised by the sudden call-out. "That's right, the beautiful lady in the yellow dress," Xiaoyu confirmed again, his smile deepening. At this moment, the beautiful female reporter finally came to her senses, realizing that she had indeed been called. She quickly stood up, her movements a little hurried, but not without grace. The staff member nearby, seeing this, quickly stepped forward and handed her a microphone. After taking the microphone, the beautiful female reporter took a deep breath, composed herself, and then politely asked, "Hello, Mr. Yi. As everyone knows, Vanishing Stars has always focused on music as its main business. So, I would like to ask, what was the specific opportunity that led you to conceive the idea of establishing a film and television company? Thank you very much for answering my question." After asking, she nodded slightly as a gesture of acknowledgement, then handed the microphone back to the staff member, and immediately sat down, picking up a pen and paper to diligently record Xiaoyu upcoming answer. "All right," Xiaoyu nodded slightly and said softly, "People, if they want to keep making progress and break throughs, they must not indulge in their comfortable zone for too long. Similarly, for an enterprise or a company, if it desires to grow bigger and stronger, and develop vigorously, it must bravely step out of its original comfort zone and actively expand into other fields." Looking back at the past year, the brilliant achievements of Vanishing Stars in the music industry are surely clear to everyone present. Precisely because of this, since we are now virtually unrivaled in the music scene, we should boldly leap out of this familiar territory and venture into the film and television industry, exploring the infinite possibilities and opportunities hidden within it. Of course, in the future, if the time is ripe and conditions allow, even the variety show and literary circles will become the target directions for Vanishing Stars to innovate and forge ahead. Xiaoyu answer was very skillful, which somewhat surprised Sun Y, who was beside him. Is this guy, who he'd grown up with, acting so arrogant now? The reporters below were also in an uproar at this time. Xiaoyu answer was very skillful, but also very arrogant. He even said things like being unrivaled in the music industry. Yes, now Vanishing Stars has a Lin Feng. Lin Feng's talent suppresses other music companies, making them unable to raise their heads, but you should still be a bit more modest. No one says such things about themselves. But speaking his mind, that was always Xiaoyu style. After all, even today, there are still people at Tianyu Entertainment Company holding banners demanding money, and it's been half a year, hasn't it? Okay, next question. Hello, esteemed Mr. Yi and Mr. Sun. I'm a reporter from XXX Agency. It is a great honor to be here to communicate with both of you. First, I would like to ask Mr. Sun a question. Just now, I noticed an interesting detail. You are not only the core person in charge of Fengxing film and television, but also hold the important position of director. It is especially worth mentioning that this Prime Minister Liu Luoguo is the first major TV drama in your directorial career. Regarding this, how confident are you, Mr. Sun, in successfully filming this drama? Furthermore, as everyone knows, the historical figure Liu Luoguo is widely recognized, but his specific life stories are little known. So, Mr. Sun, could you please reveal a little, allowing us to get a preview of what kind of captivating story this will be? Thank you in advance, Mr. Sun. Upon hearing the reporter's question, Sun Y nodded slightly, then responded softly, with his deep and magnetic voice, "This will undoubtedly be a colorful and dazzling story. However, at this moment I can only say so much. Because the script for Prime Minister Liu Luoguo is truly exquisite and brilliant. If I reveal too much now, when you all watch it, you might lose some of the surprise and fun." With that, Sun Wei's mouth curved slightly, revealing a confident smile, looking quite arrogant. "Mr. Yi, we also know that Tianyu Entertainment Company purchased a big IP like Jade Dynasty before the new year, preparing to adapt it into a film and television drama, but everyone knows that this novel was written by Mr. Lin Feng. What do you want to respond to this?" another reporter asked at this time. "What's there to respond to? It only shows that Lin Feng is talented, but thinking about it, it's true, if he weren't talented, how could he have gained the favor of the Yi Group chairman?" Ye Xiaoyu said with a smile. "Mr. Yi, a week ago, Tianyu Entertainment Company officially started filming the TV series Jade Dynasty, and a week later, you started filming Prime Minister Liu Luoguo. May I ask, Mr. Yi, if you intend to compare with Tianyu Company when the two dramas are released in the future?" another reporter asked. This question was sharp enough, but everyone liked to hear this question, because only this question could generate controversy. "That's natural, isn't it? We are filming this drama precisely to take on Tianyu Entertainment Company." Facing such a question, Xiao Fan gave a definitive answer without hesitation. When Fangxing Company first started, it rose by stepping on the heads of those people at Tianyu Entertainment. Since Vanishing Stars used Tianyu Entertainment as a banner, then Fangxing Film and Television, of course, must also use Tianyu Entertainment as a banner, Xiao Fan said with a smile. The many reporters below were stunned by Xiao Fan's arrogant words, their mouths agape. This was a blatant provocation, with no room for maneuver. Presumably, today's trending topics were already reserved. "Oh, by the way, there's something I'd like to trouble you with. Please help me ask those grandsons at Tianyu Entertainment when they plan to repay the hundreds of millions they owe us." And as soon as Xiao Fan uttered this sentence, the originally serious and tense atmosphere suddenly eased. At the highly anticipated press conference, Ye Xiaofen, the representative of Fangxing Film and Television Company, stood arrogantly before the microphone and uttered a jaw-dropping statement. "Our Fangxing Film and Television Company has poured all its efforts into filming the TV series Prime Minister Liu Luoguo, and its ultimate goal is only one: to compete with Tianyu Company in viewership ratings and completely defeat Tianyu Company." As soon as these words were spoken, they exploded like a bombshell, instantly igniting the entire venue. Reporters below raised their cameras and voice recorders, frantically documenting this sensational moment. Ye Xiaofen's extremely arrogant demeanor was precisely captured by the cameras, and within a short time, this footage rapidly spread through major media outlets, occupying the front page headlines of the day's news. People's reactions to Ye Xiaofen's remarks were mixed. On one hand, everyone was very surprised. After all, although everyone knew that the relationship between the two companies was not very good, no one expected Ye Xiaofen to so mercilessly and unreservedly declare war on Tianyu Company, leaving no room for either side to salvage the situation. This resolute attitude was truly unexpected. However, on the other hand, a closer look seemed to make sense. Because those who knew Ye Xiaofen were aware that he always followed the principle of "I won't offend if I'm not offended." If anyone dared to provoke him, he would retaliate by all means, no matter the cost, and would not rest until his objective was achieved. So when he made such harsh remarks, those who understood his temperament found it unsurprising, as if this was the true style of Ye Xiaofen. "Damn it, Ye Xiaofen is too arrogant and overbearing." In Tianyu Entertainment's office, Yang Hao stared grimly at the computer screen, which was playing the video of Ye Xiaofen's controversial press conference. Ye Xiaofen was seen spouting wild words on stage, his speech reaching the height of arrogance, especially the final declaration of war, which made Yang Hao furious. "Since you are so reckless as to openly challenge our Tianyu Entertainment, then let's go head-to-head and see who gets the last laugh. I'd like to see what else you can do to turn the tables this time." Yang Hao sneered through gritted teeth, a cold glint in his eyes. Yang Hao was full of confidence for this upcoming showdown. After deep reflection and summarization of past failures, he had found the crux of the problem: the lack of talented individuals like Lin Feng. Although Lin Feng stood on the opposite side, Yang Hao couldn't help but secretly admire him. Lin Feng was indeed an all-round genius, excelling in songwriting, composing and writing scripts and screenplays, all at a first-class level. It was precisely because of the lack of such capable assistants that his previous plans had repeatedly met with setbacks. But now it's different. What's being compared now is not singing, not whose songs are better, but TV series. This time, Vanishing Stars launched Prime Minister Liu Luiguo, and Yang Hao believed that the script must have been written by Lin Feng, and the plot must also be very exciting. However, all these efforts were in vain. The reason was none other than the fact that this time's Jade Dynasty also came from Lin Feng's hand. Since he didn't have the talent to defeat Lin Feng, he would use Lin Feng's work to defeat Lin Feng. Not only that, Yang Hao also made a meticulous comparison between his work, Jade Dynasty, and Prime Minister Liu Luiguo. First, the difference in popularity between the two must be mentioned. Although both Jade Dynasty and Prime Minister Liu Luiguo were created by Lin Feng, there was a world of difference in their popularity. Prime Minister Liu Luiguo, as Lin Feng's newly released work, was almost unheard of before this. Even if it was eventually filmed and aired, Yang Hao mused, perhaps only Lin Feng's die-hard fans would pay a little attention to it. After all, for the general audience, this new work was a complete unknown, lacking enough appeal to make people actively seek it out or watch it. In contrast, Jade Dynasty has long been famous, with a huge readership and widespread influence. The novel Jade Dynasty has its own unique qualities. Today, it is undoubtedly the most popular and prominent work in the novel world, with no other novel being able to compare to it. The level of discussion this novel has generated in the novel world has already reached its peak, attracting considerable attention. Looking at the character development, the two characters Bai Yao and Lu Zuki, their popularity is so high that it is even comparable to some of the most popular celebrities in today's entertainment industry. In particular, the series of questions concerning who is the undisputed first female protagonist between Bai Yao and Lu Zuki, and who Zhang Xiaofan truly loves most deeply in his heart, Bai Yao or Lu Zuki, have long been hot topics of continuous debate and differing opinions among fans of both sides. Even today, some time after the novel's conclusion, whenever this topic is brought up again, it still causes a stir, sparking enthusiastic and in-depth discussions among many readers. From this, it can be seen that in terms of popularity alone, if Jade Dynasty and Prime Minister Liu Luiguo were compared for popularity, then without a doubt, Jade Dynasty would win with an absolute advantage, a complete victory over Prime Minister Liu Luiguo. In this comparison, Jade Dynasty won 0 Prime Minister Liu Luiguo. The second point to discuss is the difference in genre between the two. Just from the title, Prime Minister Liu Luiguo clearly indicates that it is a historical TV series, with its setting in the Qing dynasty. Delving a little deeper, a simple online search for the character Liu Luiguo reveals that he was a civil official. Thus, it is conceivable that this drama will likely feature few, if any, exhilarating and thrilling action scenes for the audience. It is well known that TV dramas lacking action scenes and merely recounting historical stories often quickly falter, resulting in dismal viewership. On this point, Yang Hao has personal experience and deeply empathizes. Because of this, in Yang Hao's view, no matter how skilled the individual producing such a severely genre-restricted TV series, it would likely be difficult to turn the tide and save it from being eliminated by the market. And Jade Dynasty is a unique and charming Xiangxia novel. It is well known that the Xiangxia genre has always been a hot favorite among many young people, especially boys, who are drawn to it. The reason is that the Xiangxia world is full of fantastical colors and endless imagination, capable of fulfilling their deepest desires for power, adventure, and an extraordinary life. Not only that, the portrayal of emotions between characters in Jade Dynasty is meticulously detailed, making one intoxicated and unable to extricate themselves. Because of this, the readership it attracts is not limited to males. Many girls are also deeply fond of it. For boys, their viewing of Jade Dynasty might be more deeply attracted by the spectacular special effects, scenes, the intense and exciting fight sequences, and even the dramatic plot developments. These elements give the entire story tension and visual impact, allowing them to immerse themselves in this magical Xiangxia world and fully enjoy the passion and excitement. However, girls' focus of attention is different. They are keen to find those sweet and touching CP pairings in Jade Dynasty, experiencing the sincere and profound emotional entanglements between the characters. By shipping CPs, they feel as if they can personally experience those romantic and beautiful emotional journeys, worrying and rejoicing for the male and female protagonists in the story. In summary, whether from the perspective of audience diversity,